Hello guys, welcome to my channel, Tempest Federation. To quick warning, this video contains spoilers from the light novel. This video continues the previous video Yuki's future plan. If you have not watched it yet, then please watch the link in the description below. But before we proceed further, please like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell for further updates. Right now, there were still places conducting countless flawed summonings. They had managed to deceive Shizuizawa as well as the entire Western nations. The more they conducted these summonings, the more failures they got. The one who was buying these failed summons was Damrata of the secret organization Cerberus. Since the truth about these children couldn't go public, he had been collecting them for personal usage in the name of research. But that was just a ruse. He had other plans in mind. It was, in fact, at the request of Demon Lord Leon. He was looking for otherworld children under the age of 10. Did Leon do it to expand his arsenal? I suppose that makes some sense, but why couldn't he have just done it himself? He must have something else in mind to have intentionally leaked the most advanced theories of summoning to the Eastern Empire and the Western nations. Yuki couldn't reach a solid conclusion. Thus, he didn't have room to act, having still been bound by his contract with Demon Lord Leon. Yuki made up his mind as he gave his order to the three. Then I will have you three discuss the matter with Demon Lord Leon. Whether his plan is to increase his martial prowess or otherwise, you must be thorough with your investigation of the matter. Misha will be negotiating with the Rosso. Take the goods from her and proceed with the plan. Understood, just count on me. I will do my best. Haha, yes sir. The trio looked highly motivated as Kigali gave a wry smile. Don't work too hard and get yourself exposed in front of Demon Lord Leon. Yeah, heed me now, you guys really need to be more careful. We can't afford right now to antagonize Demon Lord Leon as well. The three acknowledged Yuki's warning. Laplace professed that the three of them were not idiots. Yuki decided to put his faith in his trusted companions, before continuing to explain the engagement plan in detail. After ordering Laplace and the other clowns, it was time for Kigali's order. She turned to Yuki and asked in a serious tone, "Boss, what should I do then?" She was inquiring about the investigation of the ruins. Although it was called a ruin, that really wasn't the case, especially to the likes of Kigali. To them, it was a familiar city. When she was still Demon Lord Kazalum, she used to apply magic as a defense mechanism for the city. That was the true identity of the ancient ruins of Amelita. Unlike the city on the surface protected by a dolmen, Amelita was mainly guarded by Kazalum's spells and his numerous enchanted dolls. Clayman inherited Kazalum's technology, but even his finest work, the doll named Viola, could only be considered as mid to high-end among the enchanted dolls that were guarding the ruins. To have such powerful defensive mechanisms within the ruins, in other words, this ruin named Amelita, was the true form of the puppet nation Gistav. And to ask why these ruins named Amelita had such a high level of defense. The answer to that question could be traced back to ancient times. In the distant past, the ultra-sorcerer kingdom of the elves was once prosperous, but it called upon its own destruction by its own stupidity. The nation angered a young girl who would come to be a Demon Lord Milim, the daughter of the Dragon King. The kingdom was wiped out from the face of the earth overnight. The rubble left in its wake was known as the ancient ruin Soma. Elves that managed to survive swore to restore the glory that Soma once held, yet they failed in their conquest. The depraved monster that they themselves created, the Chaos Dragon, wielded power beyond belief, and drove these people away from their hometown. The power held by the Chaos Dragon was the equivalent of Catastrophe class. Although it was not as strong as a true dragon, it still wasn't something the elves could tackle. The elven survivors went on to spread across the land and walk down different paths. Struck by the sudden misfortune, the elven people, ignorant of the event that took place, sought refuge from their elven ancestors. Those with power explored and settled in the wilderness before building new kingdoms. Some escaped in secret, became reclusive, and lived away from civilizations. Because of the sins of a few individuals, the golden age of elves came to an end. After that, some were cursed for their sins and became dark elves. In order to escape from Milim's fury, they went afar to explore a new land. Kigali Demon Lord Kazalam was one of them. He managed to survive after witnessing the true power of Demon Lord Milim, and was among the few remaining members of the Elven royal family. Kazalam was not a demon lord then. He escaped to this distant land and tried to rebuild a nation in the image of his hometown. He managed to preserve all the elven technology, so it hadn't been lost, and thus he proceeded to recreating physical copies. The nation that was born as a result was the capital Amalita of the puppet nation Gistav. Caught up in reminiscing about the past, Kigali tore herself away and shook her head to get her mind off the memory. The defenses in Amalita have yet to be disarmed. Should we set them up against Demon Lord Rimuru? She had made a deal with Rimuru to explore the ancient ruins at Clayman's base together, during which she could use the opportunity to sabotage Rimuru with the traps. It would be a piece of cake for Kigali right now. With that, only Milim and Veldora would pose a threat. If it were just Rimuru by himself, wouldn't it be simple to take care of him? Kigali thought to herself. By merely triggering the defense mechanism, she could also avoid raising suspicion. Based on these thoughts, Kigali gave her suggestion, but Yuki rejected the idea without hesitation. That would be quite interesting, but will it seriously work? Have you considered that Demon Lord Milim might tag along with him? Anyhow, where there's a will, there's a way. He wouldn't be suspicious if I only trigger the mechanisms. Kazalam's homeland was destroyed in the past, no Kigali's. Yuki was worried that might have traumatized her, but she didn't seem to mind. From elf to dark elf, then into undead elf, and finally a demon lord. Throughout all these experiences, Kigali managed to overcome all the trauma Milim brought her. But Kigali knew that she had no chance of beating Milim. She knew it would be a reckless act. Right. Then I'll be counting on you in that regard. It would be quite impossible to try and beat him. But I will be able to ascertain just how strong Demon Lord Rimuru really is. Is our opponent really worth such effort? Yes, he is. So, Kigali, make sure you don't reveal your true identity. He must be suspecting me at this point, but he shouldn't be certain about your identity. Just act cautiously and don't let him provoke you. I understand, boss. Yuki and Kigali smiled at each other. Right. Then we'll be off to meet Misha. I'll keep preparing. What do you plan to do next, boss? Me? I was going to contact Amrata to have him expand our base of operations in the east. If anything happens, we can flee to them. But before that, you are definitely plotting something. And you're telling us to hold back while you are out scheming yourself, Lapis grumbled as Yuki gave a wry smile. That's not the case, Lapis. I'm just planning to use every card I have. Because I'm not giving up on dominating the West yet. A small smile emerged on the corner of Yuki's lips. The Majins in the shadows were once again on the move.
That's it for today, guys. See you in next one. For further more update, please like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to push notification bell.